Hey guys, happy 2017. I hope you guys are having an amazing year so far. I wanted to make a little bit more personal of a video this week. If you had told younger me I was going to talk about my genetic disorder on YouTube, I probably would have thought that you were crazy. Because I never thought I would talk about this to anyone. I thought it was going to be my secret my entire life. I don't know how. I thought I was going to maintain that and never tell anybody, but that's what I thought. But I feel like it'll be beneficial to people if I make a video about this, and it may help people feel less alone that are dealing with the same stuff that I am, or similar things. So, when I was 5, I was diagnosed with Turner syndrome. What that means is that I have a piece of my second X chromosome missing. Girls have 2 X chromosomes, and girls with Turner's can either just have 1 X chromosome or can have a piece of their second X chromosome missing. I'm not going to get too into the sciencey stuff. I'm just going to talk about childhood and how it was growing up with Turner's. So what that meant for me is that starting at age 5, I had to start taking growth hormone shots every night. And I didn't stop taking growth hormone shots until I was 15. And the reason I had to take shots of growth hormone is because girls with Turner's have short stature because we don't make enough growth hormone to grow normally on our own. Like, we grow, we just don't make enough growth hormone. I would be like 4'6" or 4'7". I'm only 5'1" now, so I'd be much shorter if I hadn't had those shots every night. But I just remember being a little kid and being terrified that my extended family, like my grandma and my aunt and my grandpa, would find out that I was a freak that had to take shots to grow. And that terrified me. I didn't want anybody knowing, let alone like my friends in elementary school. Like, just the self-hatred started in probably late elementary school. I just resented everything about me that was different. Every single thing about me that was different. I resented the fact that I wasn't normal. And, you know, what even is normal, really? I mean, but that was a dumb thing to think, but that was my thought process as an 8 and 9-year-old. And puberty was an entirely different story, and things got even worse. But girls with Turner's also don't make enough estrogen on their own to go through puberty at a normal rate. So at about age 11 or 12, I had to start taking extra hormones. I had to take estrogen supplements to go through puberty normally. And I just started comparing my body to other girls, and it was pretty much torture because I knew in my head that I was not going to move through puberty as fast as a lot of other people. And I beat myself up over it because I hated the fact that I was skinny, I hated that my boobs weren't as big as other people's, and I recently, learned the fact that when you're going through puberty and you learn the fact that you may never have biological kids, you start resenting your body, basically. I'm sorry that I'm taking a long time to get all of this out, but you start resenting your body and you don't feel very womanly. And I didn't feel like I fit in with girls, and I didn't feel like I fit in with guys. I was just stuck in this kind of gray in-between place, and I didn't know about the term intersex because I had never been on Tumblr before. I know people make fun of Tumblr because it's so social justice, but I love social justice. So I will proudly be a social justice warrior, and I'm not ashamed to be a Tumblr kid. But I hadn't researched a lot on the internet because I just didn't want to think about having a genetic disorder. I didn't want to have to think about myself not being normal. And I, even just in the last year or so, I've become really comfortable calling myself intersex. And I'm comfortable saying that I don't fit inside the binary of gender. I feel like there's so much more than girl or boy. You know what I mean? And, you know, you look at the transgender community and you see just like this beautiful array of different gender expressions. They're not ashamed. And it makes me feel so free to see like drag queens and stuff like that get up on stage and put on makeup. Not that you have to put on makeup to find yourself or be yourself, but it's just, there's so many bold statements out there that show us that gender isn't binary, and yet you have even YouTubers making videos about how there's only two genders. I am living proof that there's not just two genders. I am proud to call myself intersex, and I'm proud to call myself non-binary, because it just so happens I don't fit into the definitions of girl or boy. I am comfortable being in that middle ground between both, and I have fought this for years. I fought for years to feel womanly, and you know, that never really happened. And why do I have to try to feel womanly and fit inside the box of girl just because of my chromosomes? I enjoy not being normal. I'm finally at the point in my life where I'm glad I'm not like everybody else. And actually this Friday, I am going for some testing to find out whether or not I'm going to be able to have biological kids. I will never be able to conceive naturally, obviously, because of my genetic disorder, but they aren't sure if I have viable eggs that they could possibly use for in vitro fertilization. They did a few tests when I was younger, and they thought that I didn't, and now I've found out that they didn't do all of the full testing that they should have. So I'm gonna find out Friday whether or not I will be able to freeze my eggs to have future kids, and that's a really big and scary thing. But I've also made peace with the fact that I can't wait to adopt kids one day with, you know, whoever I marry, a girl or a boy or a non-binary or a trans person. I am just finally happy and okay with myself. And that took nearly 20 years. And if anybody else with genetic disorders or anybody else that's transgender and that doesn't fit in the binary or society's definition of normal, you're okay. There's nothing wrong with you, I promise. And as much as your mind wants to tell you that there's something wrong with you, there's not. You are beautiful and amazing just as you are. And I'm sorry. I believe the universe makes everything happen for a reason, and I know that sounds really, really cliche, but I believe that because all of my life I fought so hard to be normal, and I finally realized that maybe I'm meant for more. Maybe if all of us were this cookie cutter idea of humans, then life wouldn't be as beautiful. And I'm happy to say that I'm intersex and that I'm pansexual and that I'm non-binary, and you can call me a special snowflake all you want. And I'm sorry for crying, in this video so much, but I just have never really talked about all of this that much. But you can call me a special snowflake all you want, but I believe I was made the way I was for a reason, and I'm finally learning to appreciate that, and I hope that sharing my story can help you guys learn to appreciate yourselves as well. And I'm gonna get off of here before I turn into a crying mess, but I love you guys, and if you guys have any more questions for me about Turner's syndrome or any other genetic disorders, I have taken a few science classes and I've been in hospitals enough to have a good general knowledge. I will try to help anybody that has questions or feels like they don't fit in. I want to be here for you guys. So I love you guys, and I'll talk to you guys next week.